onto him. Dire just jumps in onto their safe space into the room that they were doing their best to hold out on. The rest of the team, first pick. And the bomb actually gets lifted up by the pedal. Just some good punishment, but Elko's popping off on the back line, builds up the sim wall. It's now left to Dire on the point. Survive for himself, basically working out fairly well this time. Kevin finds the pick onto the tank, and Jack's right there at the res. Tied down with the overclock is not something to be slept on, my friends. That's going to find 3, and that's going to basically mark the end of the match, the end of the fight. Up these windows, but Dire with the 3-man plus, it's going to be so massive. The Aurora field is there, right on time to cancel it out, but it's not going to be able to find EJ. So now, Brawlers have to survive without a tank. What can they do here to sustain on the point? Really nothing when you got Sidon looking at you. Elko may have blocked, but will not matter. As they get
Unfortunately, I think it was either Kevin or Sidon that got picked there, and then they just ran on Dire for free, so despite the heroics of Dire, they were not able to take it.
Folks gonna come out. Some big positive stuff for the side of the Numbys. Effectively on a wasted amplification matrix thus far from Pope, and that might have been their game-winning ult before you hack the Pharah. Otherwise, you can't really get any good progress out of the point. Centurion's just gonna be left completely uncontested because EJ typically can't be the one to fly up there. Elko can't be the one to dash up there. The team of the Numbys is able to surround point with Sidon, who's just such a specialist on any DPS role you put him on, but it's definitely still anybody's game. And Dire with the super punch onto Elko off the map. Oh my gosh, Dire, what are you doing? And everybody's in the room. He's able to charge this punch up, find another, find a third. Okay, Dire, you're going crazy right now. Okay, get traded out. Okay, I'm so glad that he got punished for that. That would have been insane if it went uncontested, but it feels like it sort of has at this point in time. Because now you got Dire and Sidon back, and now the rest of the Brawlers sort of just died on the point. Nobody's able to touch back on, but it's only good. But Sidon, just early in these fights, keeps getting this pick onto Poke, and that's such a massive play. Kevin also set up in a masterful position to find another pick and a third as well. The Brawlers seem to be falling apart. I mean, what can you do to dodge? They wasted all the utility, and now EJ's gonna put it down the shatter, but gets punished for it at the same time. Now you got all the ults coming out on the side of the Numbys. You gotta think that this is game over. Even with their tank down, the rest comes through. Elgo's the last one surviving on what is not the point, apparently.
They did a very good job rotating to the left, and it looks like they get the opening pick as well, and Elko, big pick.
That's a big pick. Sidon's really set up into a very solid position, a very punishable position around this fire truck, and Elko splitting his attention, doing his best to sort of keep track of every member of his team, trying to keep them together, but eventually the focus is going to come back onto him. Dire just jumps in onto their safe space into the room that they were doing their best to hold out on. The rest of the team, first pick, and the bomb actually gets lifted up by the pedal. Just some good punishment, but Elko's popping off on the back line, builds up the sim wall. It's now left to Dire on the point. Survive for himself, basically working out fairly well this time. Kevin finds the pick onto the tank, and Jack's right there at the res. Tied down with the overclock is not something to be slept on, my friends. That's going to find 3, and that's going to basically mark the end of the match, the end of the fight. Up these windows, but Dire with the 3-man plus, it's going to be so massive. The Aurora field is there, right on time to cancel it out, but it's not going to be able to find EJ. So now, Brawlers have to survive without a tank. What can they do here to sustain on the point? Really nothing when you got Sidon looking at you. Elko may have blocked, but will not matter. As they get
Unfortunately, I think it was either Kevin or Sidon that got picked there, and then they just ran on Dire for free, so despite the heroics of Dire, they were not able to take it.
Folks gonna come out. Some big positive stuff for the side of the Numbys. Effectively on a wasted amplification matrix thus far from Pope, and that might have been their game-winning ult before you hack the Pharah. Otherwise, you can't really get any good progress out of the point. Centurion's just gonna be left completely uncontested because EJ typically can't be the one to fly up there. Elko can't be the one to dash up there. The team of the Numbys is just able to surround point with Sidon, who's just such a specialist on any DPS role you put him on, but especially definitely still anybody's game. And Dire with the super punch onto Elko off the map. Oh my gosh, Dire. What are you doing? And everybody's in the room. He's able to charge this punch up, find another, find a third. Okay, Dire, you're going crazy right now. Okay, get traded out. Okay, I'm just so glad that he got punished for that. That would have been insane if it went uncontested, but it feels like it sort of has at this point in time. Because now you got Dire and Sidon back, and now the rest of the brawlers sort of just died on the point. Nobody's able to touch back on, but it's only good. But Sidon, just early in these fights, keeps getting this pick onto Poke, and that's such a massive play. Kevin also set up in a masterful position to find another pick and a third as well. The brawlers seem to be falling apart. I mean, what can you do to dodge? They wasted all the utility, and now EJ's gonna put it down the shatter, but gets punished for it at the same time. Now you got all the ults coming out on the side of the Numbys. You gotta think that this is game over. Even with their tank down, the rest comes through. Elgo's the last one surviving on what is not the point, apparently.
Welcome everyone to this third playoff game of the quarterfinals. As the New Zealand Numbys will go on to face the Gangsta Turrets. We do have it appears to be a full roster. Everyone is here for the Turrets after last week having the 3 winners. The first map here has been chosen to be Colosseo. And I believe we're going to get... I would assume we get Brawl coming out from the turrets. You know, Fish is kind of known for playing those, Reinhardt, or Matra, like those sort of brawly tanks. Let's see. There we go. I had to fix the score real quick because it was showing up as 2-3 from the last map, but... Oh, it looks like they did not go in with the match code, so I guess they're gonna go back to the lobby to try to fix this real quick. Yeah, we do see on this map here Kevin is starting. The turrets have, or the Numbys have been going between Kevin and Scent. Obviously, as the big discussion earlier this season is Kevin will be forced into playing, here we go, we're back in. Kevin is forced to play Widow or Widow-like characters. And they've been doing that pretty well. Like, Sidon obviously is known for that. Sojourn also plays like a lot of Ashe. Booney is on. He did express interest in joining the cast, so he might jump in later, so give me 1 second. Yeah, we'll see what they run out on. Yeah, Booney will be here. He's probably going to make it before the match here. There he is.
Just in time.
So yeah, I mean, this is kind of what I expected. I was saying this. I guess you weren't here for that. Welcome Booney, by the way. But the turrets, obviously having Fish or Lobob, play a lot of Brawl characters. They play like the Ryan, the Orisa, the Ramatra. Playing Mauga here, but they are playing it with the Bastion, the Lucio, and the Kiriko, so I'm expecting some sort of Brawl look coming out. On the other side, we have Widow and Sojourn, like kind of as expected from their DPS hero pools.
The Mauga is fairly interesting. I haven't actually seen it from Fish very often. I've only seen it in 1 game so far, but moving out here in playoffs, gotta make an upset happen if they're going to do it here. Going forward this battle at mid, are you doing color or play-by-play? I'm not quite sure. It kind of took off, but
you do play-by-play. I think you're better at that. IMO.
Good enough. We have Flawless on the Sombre here. Kind of interesting to look as well at the brawls. So see how this side, kind of the slow as well as the fast-paced DPS. But as of right now, both teams poking and prying Sadna, hoping to get the opening pick on the Sojourn here. But we do have a nice Javelin forces out Mauga, but goes right back in for a stop. That's spin here, and now early advantage right now for the Gangsta Turrets, as they do eventually get the opening pick here, being the Numbys finding out on that Bastion. A lot of damage gone, but Fish goes further in here, has the cardiac, but gets taken down very low and get taken down eventually. But you did get about a free 23 or so % meters here for the side of the turret, so you can't complain all that much.
Yeah, it's not too bad, especially for the first fight. I do think the Sombra's really interesting here, but I guess the goal is that they know that Kevin's going to be playing the Widowmaker. They're assuming there's going to be a Mercy Sojourn. So the Widow, or the Sombra should be able to put a lot of pressure onto either the Widow or like the Mercy. I'm assuming that's the goal, is either to try to get a pick or just get some pressure while your front line just kind of tries to win the tank duel here. But Orisa is tough to push into.
The sophomore on Zarya, though, will potentially help that out here. Javelin does land over on Elizabeth's BF, but has a Terraformer as well, but Sidon with the opening pick. Here comes the Terror Surge as well from Dire. No picks, but does force us some positioning here. Rustiguru with that Casino Rush, though, on point. They will take down the Orisa, but the res from Jack is going to get canceled and denied. Now Sidon, bit of an awkward student, has to slide away. So now the Valkyrie is exchanged really for nothing, and the point will continue to move here for the Gangsta turrets forward.
Well, you see Dire swap. Oh, big pick onto the Flawless there. Dire does swap over to the this Junker Queen here. I personally don't like this. I think Junker Queen has kind of a rough matchup into the Zarya, not only because the bubbles can cleanse her ult, but also it's just kind of hard to get space against the Zarya when she's so high charged and so gets pocketed so hard by the supports here. EMP
and also might be the opening pick again. Flawless taken down with the overclock as well. On top of the beat from Law, really not doing too much. Keep Dyson healthy. Jack trying to fly away. Suzu as well as his BF. They're putting a lot of pressure here as Dire is just in the backline in the mini room, trying to fight off on the Fish. Looks like they are eventually going to win this. They invested Tree on top of this as well. The Graviton Surge from Fish, potentially a indication of a swap here, as there was really no fallout for that ultimate.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see him swap here. I do kind of like the matchup. I would have just liked to hold on to the ults there, knowing you have this EMP incoming. It's still pretty close in terms of the push here. He does swap over to the Reinhardt, which, again, I think makes a lot of sense. Reinhardt's another one that I think plays very well into Junker Queen. Big thing I'm looking for here is this EMP, especially against like some of the characters the Numbys are playing. The EMP could be really impactful here. But Kevin gets
pick over Rustiguru, but the EMP lands on a 4 member, does not land on a Dire, but they do clip on Jack. So with the Mercy out of the fight, it's up to DPS here. They're putting some work here as Dire is holding the space. The pull on the side on keeps them nice and healthy. And Kevin with another of this fight. Floss with a bit of a Mercy kill coming out there, but nothing too big coming out of that one. And I'm not sure the Somber's really working here.
Yeah, so in general, what I've noticed from the Numbys this season is if you give their DPS enough time, they will cook, they will get their kills. So you want to play fast, you want to play really aggressive. It's just taking a little bit too long for the turrets to get this positioning here. The swap onto the Mei does make sense. You have a really good engage with the wall, especially if you get the Junker Queen isolated. But yeah, like I would have liked to see them hard commit earlier. I think hard committing to the brawl is a good move for them here.
EP out from us to go here early, as well as a block from Flawless, so they gotta play us a little slow here, being the turrets, but Kevin's sights is about to expire, so they will no longer have that help over the ultimate. They do, however, have Sidon's overclock here with the help of Jack's boost, but it gets just walked on down without the Casino Rush. The 3-man rampage will land. No Suzu forced or even needed there, as the turrets have cleaned up the final blows here, and now Kevin to try and get anything done here, potentially bring one back for the squad, but he is just getting walked up. But the pull from Raspberry, though, is well timed. Look at the Widow alive, and now the reinforcements have returned for the Numbys. Ready to take on this battle. Fish is just getting backed up the law. The wall from Flawless will stop that sightline there from Sidon, gain too much value right now, but never mind. No sightline really needed, as the Bastion is now taken out of this battle. Fish close to the shadow. They had to beat from the launch, so they decided to invest it here. They do get the pull out there as well from Raspberry. Flawless looking to walk forward here on a Dire. Dire is alone on point. Now Sidon on the offense, trying his own dump, but a nice tree from Raspberry. Answered with a beat. They do get Sidon though, a bit low. Forced to retreat for now. Does hit the slide on the high ground, but it's still contesting the point. Dire is there. They use the shatter, but Fish pays for it with his life. Oh. And we have lost Paninii for now.
Okay, I misread that. I thought he was asking to join the game, and he invited me to a custom game.
Well, anyway, Sidon and Kevin killed 5 that fight, so
yeah.
Despite leaving for a second, you didn't miss out on too much.
Yeah, so, oh, I'm actually not in the correct one. I guess this is fine.
No.
Give me a second.
That's out from Kevin. They're walking forward here. Sidon with the overclock up on the high ground, has a good positioning over the side of the field. But Elizabeth does retreat for now. The wall comes up, but Kevin has found 2 right down main. Find that Baptiste as well as the Reinhardt. The ball, Kevin with a 3rd here. looking for a fifth, or looking for a fourth, but Sidon could get that one. And now, you look at it, probably gonna be a checkpoint capture here for the Numbys, and it's still pretty close though, and the ultimates are building here for the side of the Gangsta turrets.
Yeah, I have to do this real quick.
All right, the DPS are on the right side. They do get the beat.
There we go.
Or they do get the boop, so they're a bit of an awkward position, but the law taken down early. They do exchange it out for Sidon, however. Elizabeth is going to be antied up with the help of that Rampage in the backline, but the pull comes in. Jack is whipping out the Glock here on Elizabeth GF, but now Jack is way isolated in enemy territory. Gets the kill, however, and then retreats back to the safety of the members of the Numbys. Is on point. Kevin is cleaning him up here. And now just the members of the turrets are falling slowly around him. Not too much they can really do other than try to stall his cart, but they're nowhere near. The cart continues to move, and the staggers are coming in hot and heavy.
Yeah, a lot of swaps are coming out for the turrets, but I think it's just too late here, especially with this huge advantage and the checkpoint advantage for the Numbys. It's looking pretty rough here. I guess maybe the window used early could be impactful, but with this overclock coming out soon from Sidon, there's only so much you can do against that.
The swap over on the Ramatra might be a little bit too late here as Flawless falls to a slow orb.
Wait.
They do get one, so it is an exchange on DPS here. As now Flawless being gone, but there's walking forward here to do isolate Kevin there. Fish getting that final blow over on the coastline. Sidon does get res, so they will be there to catch their retreating members if they do decide to do so, but Flawless capitalize on that with the dive on the Genji, more of his well-known DPS selections here. Surprised to see it come out this late, but might just be the ticket here as they finally capture the point back in their favor and move back towards main.
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, I think the Genji is a good swap, especially if Flawless is more comfortable on him than the Sombra, because you do put a lot of pressure, especially under the Mercy and the Widowmaker here. So maybe that's the goal, just try to put pressure on and allow the Fish to cook in this front line here. Dyer's close to this Rampage here, but the beat coming out from the Law could be big.
Overclock from Sidon there. They do get the beat out from the Law, and it looks like just right now the Numbers gonna play a little slow, go to the safety of the high ground, but Dyer falls, did not get the call to back up. The high ground is still being contested right now, however. But Elizabeth BF has claimed another one in this fight. Floss jumps on up there, try to put some pressure on Sidon, force him to stop capping this point. They will find Rush to go with a big jump, so getting that down, but they stop the res. They punish Jack for the overaggression there. And now there is still 3 members here of the Numbers on the bridge, but they might catch him on this pincer. Doesn't look like they're doing so as of right now, but they do get the checkpoint. The Numbers do have spawn advantage, however, it looks like going back to a safety point for now.
Yeah, now they're starting to get the ults here, so even though the swaps came in late for the turrets, this is actually a pretty good spot for them to be in right now.
I mean, the awkward thing now, though, is that Rusty Goob was over onto the Moira. No more Baptiste, and there you go. Kevin finds the headshot on the Law. A great start. The Valkyrie comes out as well to top it all off. Down Fish, down the Law, so you're pretty tough to win this battle. You have one more fight. You have close spawns. If you die quickly here, they're still fighting this point, still trying to get anything done, but now Rusty Goob is getting staggered out. Does eventually get off the point and off the map. With 20 seconds remaining, it's going to be done overtime. It's going to be done at all.
That was a good reset for them. They should be able to guarantee at least another point touch here. I think the Numbys do want to try to at least get it to bad spawns for the turrets. But I honestly think they should have just left the bot where it was there.
I don't think they would be able to touch if they did. But they do use the Rampage. It's a 4-man Rampage in the back line. The Annihilation from Fish trying to get something done, but the Tree of Life from Raspberry is well placed. The Moan Core on point does not do anything to the tree as the overclock from Sidon does just enough to clean up these final blows. I mean, eventually it doesn't kill the tree slowly over time. But the pick's coming in hot and heavy right now, and the Twine Bank begins to dwindle down to 0. The Numbys take our first map, but it started off pretty close, and the adaptations from the turrets were looking pretty good at the end there, so they could make it a series.
Yeah, I mean, this was a lot closer, especially than we thought it was going to be coming in, considering the Numbys had 8 wins and the turrets only had 2. So I think this could go a lot longer than we expected it to. So everyone needs to stay tuned. We're going to take a short map break after this. We'll be back shortly.
And welcome back, everybody, to the Aurora Overwatch Clash. Quarterfinals matchup here between the New Zealand Numbys and the Gangsta Turrets. We are going to be going into King's Row for our next map of Hybrid. Centurion getting swapped in here for Kevin. But honestly, Paninii, we were talking about in the break, and this game was a lot closer in the beginning, than we probably thought it would be. And honestly, with the adaptations that the Turrets made, they could keep that going throughout the entire map and potentially, make some noise in the series.
Yeah, no hate to the Turrets, but just looking at their record, I don't think anyone really expected the Turrets to put up a fight, and I think they're not close per se, but I think they're putting up a fight. It's like,
I think when you look at how the Turrets got here, a little bit of shenanigans. It required the imposters to kind of explode mid-season, and then also get a team of basically 5 ringers for their final game to beat said imposters and make their way in the playoffs. But now they're here, they're at full strength, except for Muffin Muscle, who'll be coming later, but they do have their actual roster here. Yeah. And honestly, from what we've seen from them so far, this might be the best game they've played as 5 despite losing the first map.
I think this is a really good map pick for the Turrets too. Because it's King's Row, it looks like they wanted to run Sent on the Mei, which is one of his more comfort picks. They didn't want to play Kevin on Widow here. Which I think that's a good move for them, especially because it does set them up if they usually have been playing Sent on Koth too, so they'd be set up to put Kevin back in on their escort maps. And then also I think this is really good because the Turrets, as we said earlier, are really good at this brawl. So
I think the main thing you can look for as well is Jack's hero pool. He plays a lot of Mercy, a lot of flex support, but doesn't have a Lucio kind of in that we really know of or is really known for. They do force out an early block for Centurion, so could get punished, but Fish instead is punished first. As the whole entire team assists for that one, they eventually clean up on Sidon though. This slide on a little too aggressively. The Law is in the middle of the team of Flawless, cleans up on Jack, so but the Turrets might turn this despite losing their tank first. Dire try and stay alive on full move for as long as possible. We'll find Flawless, but falling very low, falling to 0 in fact. Centurion forced to block early. Raspberry trying to do anything to keep themselves alive. Does Wraith away. The wall for the Centurion is doing that by prolonging his demise. Goes on down. And that's going to be point A going the way of the Turrets very quickly. And like we said, that Lucy advantage might be coming in and just walked into him.
Yeah, I don't think... the rest of their hero pool looks like they want to go a brawl for the Numbys, but then they run Moira Mercy, which is really rough here, especially if the walls from Elizabeth's BF end up catching someone out here. Fish instantly swaps onto Zarya, which is basically textbook counter to this Orisa here. I think that's a really good swap for him. So yeah, we'll see if in these long fights if he can build up enough charge to get a lot of value here.
Yeah, and Raspberry got tagged there with an Icicle, fell very low, but here comes Rusty Goomba with the opening coalescence here. They use the Blitz of Centurion, though, build that very quickly. The Blizzard is exchanged here by Elizabeth BF. The beat from the Law is well-timed. Now Centurion is stuck in no man's land with no block and no life. And here comes Dire with the Terror Surge. We'll eventually find Fish. They clean up onto that one. So Tire trying to turn someone down beside his overclock. They walk on in here. They're stuck in the corner. Jack with the res with the chaos being caused on Sidon. Might have brought this back from the brink here. Overclock find the Law. Centurion clean it up. And despite all the opus, despite all the chaos, Sidon's overclock is the decider.
Yeah, 4 ult used from the Numbys. That last overclock at the end, I think, basically secured the fight win along with that res from Jack. But that being said, they did lose a couple of members here, so they are trying to having to back up here and play it slow. Are giving Flawless a really good angle here on this high ground, especially close to his own overclock. And then also Fish has his grab here. So this grab could be really big, especially so close to the second point here.
Raspberry will probably be looking for an early Coalescence here to open up this fight. They do get the Javelin over on the Fish on top of the wall, but it doesn't heal right up. Rustic will be on up towards that second Coalescence here. Flawless has the overclock still, but 7% towards the Graviton Surge here from Fish. They do force out an early buff to Centurion yet again. This block used for Centurion has been very early, and they've been punishing this every time. The Coalescence comes in to keep Team SNL through that Graviton Surge, but Centurion falls regardless. Here comes the Overclock from Flawless as well on the high ground, putting in some damage. Fish takes himself out of the fight, and Dire eats Elizabeth BF Blizzard. The Orisa might just turn player, but they do have the Coalescence from Rusty Gooba melting down close. Remember, Jack trying to stay alive as long as possible in the sky, but they know he's there. He can't contest. He's going to get down there eventually, but has to pull out the Glock, pull out the blaster. Raspberry goes off the map, and point B captured again. And despite some early picks going the way of the Numbys, they're going to have a big time bank to stop here on Kings Row C.
Yeah, something, where time banks go to die. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
Kings Row C is where time banks go to die. There you go, chat. Anyway.
Yeah. So a lot of ults used, but again, like 4 minutes going into the Kings Row third here is really good. The Numbys do have a lot of ults. They could use a lot of ults here just to stabilize. They are giving the first corner away, which is kind of aggressive here.
There's Surge and Valkyrie exchange up for the beat from the Law, but here comes Centurion with the Blizzard. It's a pretty nice one right now. They do isolate Fish over on the side, gets pushed into the Blizzard and taken down. A big spin there by Dire, pushing the Zarya back into this battle. And they did have to use a lot of ultimates there, but they do eventually stabilize here on C. Like I said, they forced out the Law's beat as well. So not bad at all for the Numbys. Jack goes off the map. That could be bad, as now the Reinforce are returning here for the
It could be signaling a swap
turrets.
too, especially with the Val. Yeah.
Yep, there you go.
He is probably, with the TP, he should be able to get back into the fight easily here.
But they're not going to have that cooldown. They might be able to punish that if they look for him early. They do isolate Dire. He has a fortify though. Will get out there, a bit of his corner there to get on through that wall. Side on with the overclock. We'll find the opening pick over on the Law. So Lucia out of bat. Not 22nd half. Gross to go 4% to his cold. Let's do it. Decide to use it here. If they build it, never mind. Side on with another this fight. The Sojourn coming to play here. And it's going to signal the retreat for the turrets.
Full charge side on is always very scary. He can do stuff like that and just get 3 kills in fights. Looks like staggers are going to come in. Actually, the spawns are coming in, yeah.
That's not good here for the side of the Numbys. A forced retreat now. Flawless close to overclock as well. Has the sight lines right down main. Gonna slide on in. The coalition from Rustagoomba will force them back. Dire's in a really awkward position right now. Does have the terror surge, tries to stay alive, and slams down on Elizabeth, but they do have the block. But Flawless has fallen to that terror surge, and now they also have the tree on point. Dire is gonna spin on out that Blizzard up with the fortify. Nothing happened, but space is created. Forced away from that tree. Fish does have this ground down surge, so they decide to use it, but looking for it right now. They are retreating. The Law 10% to his beat, looking for it. Jack, the Casino Rush on deck, ready to go. A lot of ults being ready to exchange here. They have to get out the E here from Dire. Has already A1. They use the ground town surge on the corner, but they use the pedal to get out of it right now. Sidon is on off and goes up with the beat from the Law. Will stop that charge again. Too much value. They just walk down Sidon, take the overclock on the battle. And now 2 picks going the way of the turrets. A little bit capture with point time. I mean, Centurion has the ice block on point, trying to stop it as long as possible. 2% towards his beat. The Blizzard doesn't build it in time. Can they even touch? Sidon will have to slide over on the point. Centurion does have it just in time. Puts it on net. Elizabeth BF has the block to stay alive, but Rustagoomba finds opening pick on Sidon here for this battle. Fish does some decent charge right now, just melting down Centurion, and now with almost 2 minutes in the time bank, the turrets are going to capture, and time bank's going to die my behind.
Yeah.
They're going to get it.
I mean, I was expecting them to at least burn off a little bit more time. Like, a lot of times you see going in with 4 minutes, then maybe you finish with like a minute or 50 seconds or something like that. But like, almost 2 minutes is kind of absurd for Kings Row 3rd. Why am I under the map here?
I think it's... I'm trying to think of what map I got stuck on.
Are you also stuck?
No. I got stuck last production on some other map. I'm not exactly sure what it was, but...
Okay.
Oh, it was Kings Row. I got stuck in the spawn room of,
Interesting.
the attacker's B spawn. I got stuck in that little room. The doors closed on me. I couldn't get out of it, but...
I think a big thing is, like we said earlier, the, like, not opting to not run the, like, Lucio, for Brawl here is really hurting the Numbys. They are running a dive here, which I think is really good, especially on Kings Row attack. But the problem is, since you're not running the Lucio, you can't kind of decide when you want to engage. And like I mentioned in the first map, the Numbys are really good when there's those long, drawn-out fights. But the problem is the turrets aren't letting them have these long fights. They're using speed to like kind of engage, using the wall to try to catch someone out, and then just trying to take the fight as soon as they can. And that's been really good, especially with how fast Fish is building up this charge on Asaria here.
I think they also kind of had a game plan going in there. It seemed like their kind of idea was to focus down on Centurion and force an early block. It seemed almost every fight. Like, really before the fight broke out, we had Centurion in his block, and then he was the guy they walked down first. With no escapability, they forced out his wall for his defense, and they had that big advantage. So a nice game plan by the turrets, with the adaptations coming out here right now for the Numbys.
I think the swap
Look
here
to be... I'm guessing Fish is not going to be on Zarya for very long once he sees his Winston play come out here from Dire. And Sidon back over on the Ashe, kind of character he was known for last season as MVP. But, I mean, just playing this pretty slow right now for the side of the Numbys, trying to get something working here. Centurion in the sky in the pharmacy. But Flawless is on the case there. They do force out an early bubble right now from Fish, but again, they're just playing this super slow, and right now the turrets are playing this around this corner, not going to Centurion any sight lines. Seeing as Dire is
Yeah.
going to jump on here with the help of the bubble, trying to do something here, but Dire falling very low. Dire might get punished here. The nice pull from Raspberry, though. We'll get the Wisdom right back up to the high ground, but they really have found no answer so far. Centurion 9 halfway to a barrage. That puts you into, never mind, there's the answer you need as Dire Sniper monkeys his way right down the Sojourn's throat, takes down Flawless, and with 2 picks, it's opening up like a can of tuna right now for the Numbers on point A of Kings Row, and they look to be doing just fine as the final blows coming on in here, and it's just gonna be a nice little stagger there in a efficient little side room, but
Ooh, we got hits.
get one for those troubles, but
Rez is gonna come
I
out,
think
I'm
we're
sure.
probably gonna see a swap as well as a BF as well over on the Winston, so probably a Reinhardt, probably a Ramatra maybe coming out.
Yeah. I think
wholesale swaps.
in general, I think that was a really hard comp to play the turrets comp there. It was a really hard matchup. Well, the Numbys actually are swapping here too, it looks like. Yeah, they kind of identify it. Again, like they're
Queen and the Ana.
the turrets are playing this Lucio brawl, and the Numbys aren't playing a Lucio here at all. So we'll see how this works here. But the swap is good. I guess getting a minute out is pretty decent considering I think they were gonna lose that first fight regardless.
Big anti-nade does light from Raspberry, and they find the law. Yeah, there you go. That's a pretty accurate representation of both sides to play Barrage in 2024. Rusty will push in with the Colas. They just try to avoid the bomb at all costs. They're walking forward in, but it doesn't matter with the Valkyrie healing coming out here. The Colas fades away. Fish and Floss do capitalize, kicking down side on, but the Resurrect comes on in, and Jack flies away. Floss rolled in, but couldn't do anything as Centurion subs over on the Genji and dashes on through the opposition, cutting them piece by piece. They are still stabilizing here on the cart for as long as they possibly can. Draw as much time back out. The wall is just jumping up and down. They can't capture my mans. Finally taken down, but you forced a lot of swaps, a lot of ults, and you still got a pretty good ult deck building up yourself.
Yeah, I think the turrets are actually playing this really well. Having capped with almost 2 minutes here, like their main goal is just kind of force overtime. They don't care if the turrets or the Numbys full cap here as long as they can force overtime. So a lot of time has been killed off so far here. And then now the
back
ults
over
are
onto
coming up.
Farah. So there's some high octane Overwatch, some high octane counter swapping here coming up from both our sides. Dire falling halfway down there. I mean, Fish just walks down side on, takes the ash out of the fight, and now Jack's in a really awkward position, making compromise, taken down. They cut the Mercy's wings, and she falls dangerously onto the cart, and no ults needed, and a fight victory garnered, and they're gonna punish off these people here. A huge play from Floss on the wall, and the capitalization of the turrets. Looking great so far. We can already tell. Rustaguba is screaming his head off in his comms.
Yeah, I'm sure. Almost a full ultimate coming out here for the turrets, which is really good. I thought for a second they were going to opt to hold that that close gateway there, but it looks like they are opting to play further back around the cart here. Dire close to this rampage here, but the Law has the beat if he opts to counter with that. So yeah, a lot of really good ults coming out for the turrets. So we'll see if the Numbys can make something happen this fight.
Centurion is landing some pretty nice rockets, does force out some pretty early cooldowns from the support line of the turrets right now. They do have Elizabeth GF, uses that Bastion ultimate. Flawless is trying to look at Centurion for as much as possibly can, but it's just all chaos right now. So many ultimates being used, but Rustaguba gets the opening blow on a Raspberry. A big anti does land on the multiple members, and Centurion capitalizes with the barrage, finding 2 and a 3rd with just the standard rockets. And Sidon just standing on point, his victory assured. Pushing on forward right now. I don't think they have another touch here, but this sets up pretty good for point C defense.
Yeah, I really thought they were gonna use the Annihilation there. I guess it's good they have it for this upcoming fight.
Maybe they have a touch.
It's gonna be close. The Law's gonna have to get it. Oh, they do have it.
And they hit an icing on point. Sidon taking down almost immediately through that. And now they're forced to retreat. Raspberry up on the high ground. The Baptiste drops in the alleyway in a very awkward position. Jack trying to get the rise off on point. Looks like they're going to do it, but now it's just Sidon on point. Just one ash against the world. Puts the coach on the way in the alleyway and taken down. Have you seen the statistics of Great Britain? Do not go down alley at night by yourself there, Sidon.
Yeah,
and now
another reset
forced to retreat.
Yeah, and the Flawless still has this Blizzard here, and 0 ults here for the Numbys. A minute and a half left. Like, I think they'll be able to build some ults here to try to break through, but this is a great burning off the clock here for the turrets. I think if one more fight win for them, and they should be able to at least guarantee under a minute.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at it right now. It's just this very slow play from the Numbys. Kind of come back to bite them right now. Centurion, he's just not getting the value you want to see against an uncontested forward with no hits getting the other side. A huge wall from Flawless. Force out Suzu and Immortality Field, and instantly Flawless pops the Blizzard. Sidon does pop the head off of the Mei, but now Dire completely isolated in the alleyway. And like I said earlier, you don't get caught in the alleyway alone in Great Britain against the Gangsta turrets. They're going to walk you down. Jack has a Suzu, but it's just a second too late. Force a TP back to the safety of the team, but no ult for a final fight territory here for the Numbys. Walking into a coalescence, into artillery strike.
Yeah, almost into this beat, too. The Law's been building these pretty quickly here, so might have it by the next fight. Yeah, I think even by the time the Numbys get their ults, Fish is going to have his Annihilation here, so a lot of ults are going to be built in the middle of this fight, so we'll see if maybe Sidon can make something happen early for the Numbys and see if they can break through here, but...
Sidon is on this off angle in the alleyway, but there's walk past them. They use the coalescence there on a Dire. Dire flying very low. Dire close to this. Rampage is going to get healed up in the Immortality field just in time. Centurion will find one with the help of the... They're going to exchange 1-for-1 on DPS here. Now Lobob goes in with the Annihilation. Rampage can't get away. The beat from the Law as well will keep him alive as a one-man Rampage over on Elusive, but staying alive on point. Just jumping around again. Jack down. It's just Dire on point against the world. Sidon has returned. Has charged down main. Can he find one? He's going to need more than one. He's going to need all five. He's going to get 0 first troubles. Centurion blinks on in the Tracer forced to recall. And that is going to be a map victory going the way of the Gangsta turrets. Ladies and gentlemen, we are not done here at all. We're going to be in for a long run.
And not only a good win for the turrets, that was really decisive there. 2 minutes on the attack and then holding on second point. That is an incredible match for the turrets.
I mean, it appeared they really had no answer to just the high octane gameplay. You know, you see this Moira and you're like, interesting. We see a lot of teams play Baptiste, a lot of teams play Kiriko, but with the Moira, you can just play so fast, so aggressive, and that's the advantage they're seeing here at the Gangsta turrets.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see if they stick with that because it's clearly working. They might just keep running that until the Numbys have an answer for it. Going into next map, Koth here. We'll see if they make any adjustments, but we'll take a short map break. Stay with us, guys. We'll be back very soon.
And welcome on back, everybody, to this quarterfinals matchup of the Aurora Overwatch clash between the New Zealand Numbie and the Gangsta turrets. And I think, despite everybody's beliefs except 2 people in the chat, the turrets have evened this up at 1-1, and we're going into a map type the Numbies have historically struggled on this season, which is Control. It is going to be Busan. Kevin is back on the DPS, but I mean, we might be seeing ourselves go into a disadvantage here for the side of the Numbies.
Yeah, well,
Also, I spawned like 8,000 miles away
I
from
know,
the
me
map.
too. Another thing is the Numbys have consistently been putting Centurion on Koth here. Like they always put him because he can play Mei, so they can run like Brawl on the Brawl maps. They can run Mei on the like long range, kind of more open maps. He can run Pharah. So it's interesting to see Kevin coming in. Like it makes sense, especially on downtown. But some of the other ones, like I don't think are as good with Widowmaker. So we'll see how it works here.
Are you still in the void area? Because
No,
I can see downtown Mecha Base and
Yeah.
the sanctuary.
Fun fact:
Okay.
on the Koth maps, all of the maps are in the same they're in the same area.
Well, yeah,
But,
but I've never
yeah.
seen this before. It was pretty
Yeah.
cool. Anyway, we're going in here. The
Almost
same look we saw from both teams on push,
But
basically.
we do have
The-
Kevin in for synth, so that's really the only difference. But everything else is pretty similar. They're running Mercy Lifeweaver here again.
It's not a lot of healing, so
Yeah.
they're putting a lot into the Kevin believers here. They want the Kevin Widow to put in some work. And the side-on pocket can also put in a little bit of damage here. Raspberry, though, is going to get walked on, forced to pedal away. Looks like they will get out just in time. But now the map has been flipped here for the side of the turrets. They're going to continue to walk in here. They have found Kevin. He is just alone, but side-on slides on in and gets to find the opening pick there on the Rusted Guba. And with that Moira gone, that's a lot of healing for this Brawl taken out of the battle pretty quickly. Kevin is very low, Dire as well, but Sidon is the one that matters so far. Has found two.
I mean,
Dire does fall, but to see what happens here,
Take
they're
advantage
maybe
here.
turning this right now. Kevin Fish does have this Nemesis form on point. Kevin falling very low. They're gonna get the res, and they just get Kevin. Poseidon has returned the battle, and now Raspberry finds Flawless on the back of the law, trying to return to avenge their teammate. And despite all his chaos, the Numbys have capped the point. Roasting Uba does have the fade.
Is just sitting there on point.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to be able to really do too much here. Flawless not there to take him off that high ground. Elizabeth BF has returned the battle. It's a 5v4, making a 5v3 as Sidon again is another final blow to his name. And finally, there you go. That'll probably be a fight finally being over just as of right now. Yeah, unless Fish has a miracle up his sleeve, doesn't look like he does. And yeah, that's a 50% victory there, one fight for the Numbys.
Yeah, it's really rough too, because that first fight, I think if the turrets were to just contest it a little bit longer, they would have won the fight, especially getting taking down Dire. Rusty Gimbal was just getting back right when they were starting to go on there. We do see Fish actually swapping over to the Winston, and we see Flawless swapping over to the Genji. So opting for a very a much more like dive heavy look here. Contrary to what they were playing previously, I think this could also be good. Again, like try to punish the backline here, try to punish the Widow. We'll see how well it works if the Numbys are able to get good peel off on these dives here.
Another ring around the Rosie comes on in here. Force out two into pretty awkward position. Kevin does have the grapple to stay nice and healthy. Sidon first of all, though, as Jack distracted through the Valkyrie, trying to keep him alive. They have the Tree of Life as well. Low Bob taken down with the Terror Surge. The Tree of Life keeps him nice and healthy. The Law puts down the beat, but wasn't enough to keep Fish in this fight. And now no ultimates for the turrets, as it looks to be a pretty decisive 100-0 victory here for the Numbys on our first point of Busan, and Sidon is coming alive here. And really no answer for the turrets so far to these new comp swaps.
Yeah, I think for the Numbys, it's going to be this map, and it's going to be downtown are going to be the ones they play better on with the comps that they're running. I think they are going to struggle if next map is a mecha base. Yep, it's mecha base. So
I think the issue we saw there is just the turrets were playing slow. It hasn't worked for them.
Yeah.
They're taking too long for these rotations, and then once they got to where they wanted to go, the Numbers just walked the other side of the map.
Part of it
So
too is like they get like like early advantage. Like they either get a lot of space or they get like a lot of pressure in, but they might get a kill or two, but they don't go like they don't chase it as hard. I think if they get these early advantages, they need to just go a lot harder. We do see I like exactly mirror matchups here. I was gonna say I had to look at it for a little bit, but yeah, it's exact same comp. I think comfort-wise, it's a little bit better for the turrets, but I guess we'll see.
Another map flip play coming out here from the turrets. Early Nemesis form comes out from Fish. Response from Dire walks in, but a nice wall from Flawless will isolate Dire up a little bit. They do knock him off the high ground now, and now Kevin forced to slide away to help the team. Sidon is in them right now. They find the Law, but they find Sidon as well. The point does flip here early for the Numbys. However, with Kevin and Sidon gone, both DPS out of the battle. Rostuguba fades on back to help of the team, and now the supports are completely isolated on both sides. It's just Ramachas palm punch each other on point, but Liz's BF, not respecting the 1v1, start to freeze up on Dire, but now, I mean, Jack is just pelting and healing. They gotta stop the Moira from putting into its work right now. The point is still in favor of the Numbys, and now Sidon back for another stall. Kevin takes down the Law yet again.
Yeah, it's almost exactly
Kevin
like
decided to touch. Raspberry is there. The fight is still going on, and Sidon... Oh, there we go. Kevin will not touch.
Similar to what we saw the last map is the turrets give up early point cap and then just lose so much off of that advantage there. So now it's already 30% for the turrets, or for the Numbys. So even though they lost that first fight, it's pretty good advantage early. Blizz coming up here too for Elizabeth's BF, so this could be really big.
The Coalescence from Rostuguba is early, does force out. Dire goes on down. Coalescence exchange here. Jack puts out theirs as well. But with Dire out of the fight, it'll be pretty tough to bring this back here. Raspberry trying to speed the motor on back. But the turret potentially can move forward here. The nice wall as Blizzard combo comes out here, freezes out Low Bob. The Law with the beat in response will keep Fish healthy in this battle and has an elation there to try to stop them. The B from on high from Raspberry. The Blizzard's BF does freeze up multiple members, but the wall from Sidon keeps the team healthy enough. And I mean, so many opening used. Overclock from Kevin might be the deciding factor. As with the Law down, as well as Fish. 2 for Kevin, and a point fit for the Numbys. And just as Fish said, that was Overwatch.
Yeah, what was that? Almost 10 ults used. I think it might have actually used 10, but I guess the Cole's really going to be the only one this fight here. And with that early 30% the Numbys had, it's going to be in their favor by the end of this fight here. Looks like they're going wide. Try to avoid the
long
wall.
rotation, but the wall is big from Sidon, but a block is forced again early, but the Law falling. Rostuguba deciding it might be turnable here. Throws out that Coalescence, try to keep it nice and healthy to find Sidon on point. Kevin is on high ground with a nice charge, but the response Coalescence from Jack. It's a 4-on-4, but Jack has the advantage here in terms of the healing and the damage to the Coalescence. The fade comes up from Rostuguba. Elizabeth going down. Will be pretty tough right now to bring it back. The Numbers has the advantage, and now with 70% and counting, they might have the map as well if the staggers come out.
Yeah, Dire gets 3 that fight, looking for more. Aw, Kevin steals the 5k. Yeah, I think they will be able to touch here, but a lot of ults coming out for the Numbys is going to make it really difficult to win this fight. Yeah, the Law should be able to touch here. Boop is used from Raspberry.
Raspberry
gets
plays
caught.
too aggressive there and goes on down. Coalescence is forced out from Jack to do exchange on a maze, though. It's a 2-on-2. The support trying to do all they can for the Numbys, for the turrets here, getting multiple kills, but they do have the eyes from Dire as well as the Blizzard from Silent in the back. Locks down Rostuguba and they take them on down, and the Numbys decisively take this map back, bounce back. Though they do bleed, they heal up as well.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of... They go Lucio when they play Brawl and they win. Who would have thought? Dire also putting in a ton of value on this Ramatra. I don't think he played Ramatra in King's Row either, so they did make the swaps. So they are able to actually contend with this turret sprawl here. And we are going to go to another short map break here. The map breaks seem to be going pretty fast, so we'll be back with you guys very shortly here. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. Oh, I just realized that it didn't actually switch over the scene. Interesting. Welcome back, everyone, to map 4. After a very dominant King's Row, we are going into Shambali. Very dominant King's Row in it for the turrets, and a very dominant Busan for the Numbys. Yeah, going into Shambali here. I think this is a really good map pick, especially if you're expecting the Widow. But since Kevin did play last map, we are having Sidon play this map. So I think this is actually like pretty good, considering that like Sent has been playing a lot of Mei this season. Shambali, I think, has been getting a lot of playtime for these like brawl style comps. So I think this makes a lot of sense, and we do see them staying on the Ramatra with this Lucio here. So worked really well for them on Busan. So I think this should be a pretty good matchup here for the Numbys. I know I'm sure they're just showing this in spawn, but I don't think they're gonna run the Zen Moira here. Surely.
Yeah, well, I doubt that. We'll probably get the mirror match yet again here. But then what we saw with this mirror matchup is, I mean, the laws. He's walking towards spawn door. Maybe it's an early shot here, and then the switch.
Yes, yeah.
Speaking of early shots, he's taking a lot from Sidon there. We'll swap over to Lucio, yeah. So it's a mirror match yet again.
This makes a lot of sense. I think one thing the turrets have been doing really well is like the speed engages have been really clean from them, especially if the Numbys hold this close angle here. Oh, never mind.
With the law down, dude, the Numbys had to walk in on that. Doesn't look like it. They're just gonna keep their high ground position right now. We do have the turrets just sitting in the corner right now, just hiding from the eyes of Sidon. They do look to walk forward. I mean, Jack is in the back right now. Do they notice this? It does fade away, but they might go in that quick, you know, and the Moira has no fade. Another target for the brawl. The wall not quite gonna land there from Centurion. Everything gets through nice and healthy. Nemesis form advantage here goes to Dire, though. Has a stronger punches. And it is just pure chaos right now as high ground, but the Numbys thrive in this right now. Find the picks, find the wall there from Centurion, much better this time. Blocks their escape. And the turrets are forced to retreat yet again.
Yeah, that was a really good rotation for the turrets, but just losing the Ramatra early is just so hard to win these brawls without the big body of your Ramatra. Flawless does swap over onto this Bastion, I guess hoping to get a little bit more frontline pressure here. The big thing to watch out for here is if Sint going to get another wall to try to isolate someone, especially if they go do this far rotation here around the building. Looks like they're going for that again, so we'll see if Sint lands a wall.
They're going for it again, but they stick together. The wall comes up, it's immediately broken. Now Flawless is there. Rustic Mubo does respond with the Coalescence exchanged. But Dire has an advantage here. Annihilation does isolate Fish over on the side. Fish not long for this world, much longer. Elizabeth BF does use the Blizzard though. But we do have an Ajax. No, Raspberry got off the ground just in time before they froze. But Flawless has found 2 kills in the meantime. Flawless to the third. Flawless on the Bastion putting some work. Sidon trying to bring back for a squad, but Flawless with 4. Give him the 5K.
Flawless with 5.
Good, gonna get it. And Flawless on the Bastion gets 5 despite the chaos. I said that nobody's thriving it, but Flawless instead is the man of the hour.
And they did so with only 2 ultimates. That's really good for the turrets there. Bastion's drop is really good. I thought it was to get more pressure on the front line, but it actually is just break these Mei walls. That first fight there, the Mei wall catching out Fish, just Flawless is able to just kind of burn through it now that he's on this Bastion here. Going for a flank here, gets sent really low.
The slow on top of the Bastion form, a lot of damage being put out. Centurion forced to block early here, do decide to isolate him. They use the Blizzard, they find Centurion in the meantime, but it's a big freeze. As I believe that was an Ajax, but we do have Fish walking on in with this Annihilation, putting in a lot of work now. Dire just trying to stay around for as long as possible, but not long for this world. Jack with no fade, forced to retreat in the small building, but sent back to spawn as Flawless is lighting up the kill feed right now on Bastion.
Yeah, and Jack dying really late there. I don't even know if he'll be able to respawn in time for the touch. They might just opt to give it up to kind of hold second point here.
Yeah, that wall as well was not the touch.
So yeah, really good fight there. They are low on ults for the turrets, but I mean, they'll take that to cap first point.
Elizabeth BF is taken down pretty quickly through this battle. And Sidon pelting him down through this turret forward with another pick their Sidon with kill feed, not to be outdone by Flawless for too much longer. There's walking in heavily here, but they are just feeding Rusty Google over this Coalescence, and looks a little bit back in spawn, isn't healthy for just a couple seconds here. Starting to come back out here. And now, they're not really in a spot to fight their high ground advantage, or they're on cart taking this battle right now. Walls are exchanged from the Mei. It's coalescing from Goomba. Jack holding on to for just a couple seconds here. They do force on the block from Centurion yet again, but Fish falling very low here. And now, just all this pressure coming out from this coalescence is enough to take down Elizabeth BF with the Mei gone. The slow can do nothing, but Jack goes on with the skill orb. Taking down Fish. Jack trying to get more here in the kill feed. But Dyer steals that one from him, and now the staggers are coming in. They're going even deeper right now, and Dyer again with Jack. The dynamic duo. They clear the kills and clear the battle.
Yeah, they gotta make sure they get out too, because if the spawn's this close, respawns could always mess them up here. But Dyer with this Annihilation, along with Scent being really close to this Blizzard here, could be really rough. But Elizabeth BF with a Blizzard of his own, along with Flawless with this Bastion ult, could be a really interesting combo if they opt to use it here.
Oh, but the Law falling first will not be good here for their potential hopes. Raspberry gets frozen up as nowhere near any sightlines. They take down Sidon, but the Annihilation from Dyer is just too good on point. Forces the spacing. They cannot capitalize on Elizabeth BS Blizzard. They use the Bastion ult as well. The artillery strike comes on out. Is it going to find anybody? As it turns in an awkward spot and gets taken down. So down the Mei. Rosaguba decides now's the time to pull the trigger on his Coalescence. They're going to find Jack, and despite losing the early members, it looks like the Turks are finally going to get some point progress on here. Dyer is just on point for as long as possibly can, but just feeding over ult charge to low Bob. Raspberry gets out their lives.
Yeah, it's a pretty cheap fight there too. I mean, the Blizzard is used, but Bastion ult and Coalescence aren't very expensive ults. So trading that for the Dyer's Annihilation is pretty good. Fish is going to have a Annihilation of his own, but Raspberry should be able to counter that pretty well with the beat here. The Law has a beat of his own, hopefully trying to wait until this Blizzard from Scent doesn't get Ajax like last time, but...
Slows and shields are exchanged by other Ramachas, but the point continues moving forward. A nice bomb from Flawless hits all 5 members of the Numbys, I believe, and now see how team decided to push this one forward. The Coalescence comes on out. They use the wall. They're trying to hold on as long as possibly can. Annihilation comes out, but here comes the Blizzard from Centurion. The Law has the beat, though, but doesn't hit Fish. The start of the cart, I believe, blocked that off. Couldn't keep tank up in this fight, and now they're forced to retreat yet again. But you will have some also play back with.
The beat did hit Fish. It was just way too much damage. They just shredded through that immediately.
Got it.
And I don't even know if anyone can touch here. Ults are coming up soon for them, but Fish does swap over to the ball, but we'll see, especially with the Maywall and with this Lucio boop. I don't know if the touch can come off here.
It doesn't look good.
Possible. Oh, they
just
do!
Barely there, they get it!
Elizabeth
BF is coming back with the Blizzard. But the Law falling. Not too much people can do here. The Blizzard just chucked in from way downtown, but hits the wall, and nobody can get stuck in that one. The Numbys are going to hold just up the hill on Shambhala Monastery. They now have a win point. They now have a match sealing position for the cart to reach. But the Turrets, we saw defense pretty good from the side of the Numbys. The Turrets have to do a little bit better.
Yeah, fighting for their lives here, that's not the worst I've seen for the attack. Like, it gets held outside of first a lot. It gets held, like, at that exact same spot very often. So I'd say even though there is a win condition for the Numbys, it is still very winnable for the Turrets. So yeah, we'll see, especially if they make some adjustments. I think they started to make some adjustments later. But I think this is still super winnable for both sides. Another mirror matchup showing right now from both sides here.
Beings born of science, seeking
it is interesting. Like, is the idea here to maybe keep Sidon off those long-range hit scan that he can kind of carry on the Sojourn, the Ash, and put him on this Bastion, which, while he can shred you, definitely, way more counterplay involved with the Bastion compared to just him hitting headshots on Sojourn.
You don't get one shot as much, so like the Bastion is able to do a lot more damage, especially onto the tank, but running the Moira, you're just able to farm that Coalescence so quickly, just turbo healing your tank. They're going for the close hold here, which I think is a really good move on Shambhala Monastery, because a lot of times you just opt to fight for either that high ground or that first corner. So I do really like this close hold here, especially just to burn off some time.
And I mean, their comp really has no need for the high ground. Looks like they caught him off guard a little bit here. They do force on an early turret for from Sidon. The blocks are out, but Sidon first to fall. Centurion is isolated. Does have the block though, keeps him alive, but Jack and Sidon both gone. And the full hold
gets another. I think it was a
full hold is doing pretty good here. And can they get Dire as well? They can. The stagger is pretty big. And they're just going back to the spot. The cart gets 0.00 meters, and the ults are building.
Yeah, a really good, clean fight there. Now the Numbys are going to be ready for it, so I'm sure they're going to try to split or, like, go for some weird angles here. Yeah, they do just go far, far right.
They do far, far right, but they found Sidon, though. He's just hiding in spawn. He tried to get him on the back end, but they were smart to that one. They do get Rusty Gooba, though. So spawn hold might be breaking here shortly, but they are going to die and fight on car as long as they possibly can here, being the side of the turrets. I mean, this building opens up as well. I mean, they're just playing this pretty slow. Here comes the wall out from those BF. Centurion is going to fall, but Raspberry is on car pushing forward. They're flying and break that. But a stalled mid off the blank already right now, and the ultimates are there.
Yeah, like the almost full coming out from both sides here. I mean, with that first close hold, your goal isn't to just hold them there forever. Your goal is to just burn off time. So getting a little bit over a minute off, like, isn't terrible, especially since they're going to try to fight for this this first corner anyways. And with these ults coming out, especially the support ults, I think could be really big for the turrets here to just try to engage early. No beat from Raspberry could be really big, especially if Fish gets this Annihilation.
Early turret forms from both sides of the Colons at the same exact time from Musagumba and Jack. Elizabeth's BF does chuck out that artillery strike, but the first to fall is going to be Fish. A lot of ults being exchanged here, but the Numbers coming on top of most of them right now. Flawless is still fighting Encore for as long as he possibly can. Does have the block stay lever for a little bit longer. The Law just jumping around. It just supports Encore here right now. They are going to die, but they might have one more contest here. At the end, they will have Annihilation to do so.
Yeah, they should have another touch here. Burning 4 ults from the Numbys. Well, I guess they use 4 ults of their own. But Annihilation for Blizzard, I think, is a pretty good trade for the turrets. We'll see how well they play this here, but they definitely are going to be able to fight this.
They forced on an early fade from Jack as well, so Cook taking advantage of that one. They do walk on in here. Fish goes on into the background pretty quickly, but a nice wall. Blizzard cannot use Annihilation in time. And though Centurion does fall in the meantime, it's not going to be nearly enough here. Flawless is on card, just trying to melt as many people as he possibly can with Endothermic Blaster. But again, it just supports right now for the turrets, trying to do as much as they possibly can to stall for time. Poseidon hits that nade, and now 4 minutes separate them from the top of this hill. And the Opus are coming back. Centurion swaps around the Tracer.
I don't know if he was just trying to touch that fight, or... No, he is going back, it looks like. But yeah, really good Blizzard there from Centurion to catch out Fish there. And then Sidon just able to burn him with this with the Bastion for him so quickly there. We are getting to a lot of ults here again. The Law, I think, really has to build this beat before this Annihilation coming out here. Really aggressive.
Looks like they're just going to play this pretty slow and safe right now for the side of Numbys. Jack did have to use the fade there early, engaging with the Coalescence, but comes Annihilation out from Fish, and the Coalescence as well from Rustigumba. Wall from Fall, not getting too much. Elizabeth BF does use the artillery strike, but as of right now, if you're the Numbys, you're taking this fight. A lot of ults being thrown out here by the side of the turrets, and you really didn't use anything there.
Yeah, like the Bastion ult isn't great. Like a lot of times it's no guaranteed to get a kill. But getting out the Annihilation for the Coalescence is a pretty good trade. For the turrets though, again, it's more about time and positioning. Oh, that's a really rough stagger there. Wall does come out, so I think the turrets will be able to stabilize here. Yeah, they are just gonna have to
get some.
Oh, they're going in.
They check out the Blizzard. It's gonna land on multiple members, but the beat comes out from Raspberry, keeps team up nice and healthy, and now Flawless goes on down Rostiguba as well. This might have been disaster right now for the side of the Gangsta turrets. This might be their season going away. The Law he'll get his, but they will get one more contested. Looks like with plenty of time, but the ultimates are gone.
Yeah, the beat is going to be here for the Law, but with the Bastion ultimate, the Moira ult, and the Ramatra ult, that's going to be really rough to play into here. Rusty Goomba getting the Coal might actually give them enough like time or space to outlast these ults, but it's not looking great for the turrets, to be completely honest.
It's not looking great right now, but it did get some space back here. Bastion ult out from Sidon, trying to find anything, any paid dirt. Not going to have him, but Dyer's going to capitalize with the help of the Annihilation, the Blizzard, and Annihilation. Just so many ults being thrown out here. The Lost Rosa, but safe around the corner. Phil's just 10% away from this Annihilation. Can he survive for just a couple more seconds here to build it up, get another set of armor? Looks like he will. They survived these ultimates, and they might not even need it. Walking forward here, Well, then we pick on a Centurion. They're going to decide to invest Annihilation anyway, get these final blows, and now 1 minute in the time bank, and no ultimates ready to use for the side of the Numbys, and the turrets are going to have both DPS ready to use.
Yeah, I'm shocked they won that fight. Rusty Goomba's Cole, along with the Law's beat, was just able to do so much, just outlast those ults and just force them to disengage. Now all the Numbys have here is the beat from Raspberry, but playing against a Bastion ult and a Mei Blizz here is really rough. They are opting to go this far right coast here, but this could be really good, especially if Flawless is able to catch someone out here with a wall. Very tight chokes here.
The Law falls very low there, but able to stay alive for just a couple more seconds. The wall is out and does freeze up. Raspberry can't use beat in time. They do punish, and 2 picks come out early here. They don't use artillery strike either, and now these staggers are coming in. Can Jack get out with his life? Jack thinks Rusty will chase him down. It's more and more comeback, and the nails from Rusty was going to be enough, and now 15 seconds remain. They had to get touched. They have both support ults ready to use, but Turtle could stop that.
Sidon might be able to touch here, but yeah. And then both support ults are coming up super soon here for the turrets. Even if this, the Lucio or the Tracer do get the touch here, the wall comes out, but the touch does come off. The beat from Raspberry keeps him alive. But it might be too little too late here.
Rusty Goomba had to pull the Law, the beat as well. They're going to get to both portables here, ready to go. Try to melt somebody down. Centurion trying to build towards the Blizzard one final time. Nobody's dying as of right now, and now Centurion close to Blizzard. That could be the turning point right now. Really block forced out from Flawless. Lobob close to Annihilation, but so is Dire. Bit bad right now from Lobob. Elizabeth does have a turret form, takes on out. Both items come on out from both sides. There's a turret for the fall. Can't use the Blizzard in time. Died in the cast. 2 picks. Go the way the turns and turns one does. The man forces about 5. Ladies and gentlemen, Jack cannot touch the Lucas side on, and we're going all the way.
Yeah, maybe the coin was onto something, being the only person to predict the turrets winning this game, but going to a map 5 could go anywhere now. Both Bastions had a lot of really pop-up potential. Elizabeth's BF late got, I believe, 3 on that final fight there.
I don't think anybody saw this one coming. A map 5 between our number 1 seed and our number 4 seed from their respective divisions. Ladies and gentlemen, do not go anywhere. This banger continues after this short break. Welcome on back, everybody, to this quarterfinals matchup of the Aurora Overwatch clash between the New Zealand Numbys and the Gangsta Turrets. And just like everybody expected, we're going to map 5. It's going to be Flashpoint. It's going to be New Junk City. Kevin's back in. Can he complete the sweep?
Yeah, I mean, Kevin hasn't lost a map so far this entire match. I was trying to say series, but I guess match is a more accurate. Now he is like locked into those like Widow or long range hit scans. I think Flashpoint is not great for some of those. A lot of really close together like smaller points here. He is playing Sojourn, which I guess I guess Sojourn you can play on any map, but pretty similar looks here. The brawl coming out from both teams, but we do have Dire on this Orisa. Fish staying on this Ramatra here. The only real difference here is the Bastion for Elizabeth PF, and Kevin is on this Sojourn. Very distinct pacing difference between the two teams, because again, I think this is another comp. Like, you get the Bastion turret, or the Bastion was it Sentry form? You play really fast off of that. On the other side, like, Kevin just wants to play slow, like build up his charge, try to get a headshot. So yeah, we'll see. I personally like the Bastion a little bit better here with this this comp.
The Bastion has put in a lot of work with that one grenade. We're seeing them flying very low though, so they can't play too aggressively. They're walking forward here with the help of their help, but Kevin, the first to find a final blow, finds a second one. Kevin comes on in off the bench. He's on Warblazers and finds full supports with the charged shots. And Dire cleans up as well, and there you go. It's going to be first point flip going in the way of the New Zealand Numbys.
Yeah, a lot of damage coming out, but Kevin just able to get the right click shots onto, I believe it was Elizabeth BF in the law. Fish, again, immediately swaps over to this Zarya. I think that's a really good swap, especially into the Orisa. Like, as we all know, like, the Zarya left click that can't get negated by the Orisa spin, so you can't do a lot of damage, especially at full charge. But it is a little bit weaker to the Sojourn, so we'll see if,
Oh, it's a very nice welcome from Sidon, though. Takes down Fish very early. They're expecting that aggressive play cover from the tank of the Gangsta Turrets, and now 4% and counting. Fish will get back, but will be last fight territory yet again.
Yeah, and the turrets are swapping off this Bastion, so they don't have that shield break anymore. Does play a little bit slower, again, because not only do you need to wait for the Sojourn rail to build up, you have to wait for the Zarya charge to build up, too. So now it's kind of swapped, so now the Numbys are playing a little bit more aggressive here. Another wall comes out, catches Fish again.
And a big spoiler advantage coming right now for the New Zealand Numbers. Are going to walk in and both. They're going to find 3 very early flaws. Just going to go a last second touch. It looks like no, he might just reset with the team. And a very decisive win there. Floss will get his, but very decisive first point victory there for the New Zealand Numbys.
Fish swaps again onto Orisa this time, just opting to mirror it. Only real ult use for the Numbys there is the Coalescence from Jack. That's a really good, efficient ult advantage, especially like considering they got that point there. With the swaps coming out for the turrets, it is looking really rough for ult charge for them. Both Elizabeth BF and Lobob are kind of reset on their ults here. So advantage goes in favor of the Numbys here, but point advantage goes in favor of the turrets.
Pullen comes out early, but the Blizzard is there. The beat does land, but the Terror Surge will be there to put down some multiple members. Floss with the overclock with the help of the Coalescence. A lot of ults being exchanged right now. The skill orb will get Jack, but it's still 4-on-4. Kevin has the overclock, and we'll find the final blow over on the Law. And with the Lucio gone, we'll see if they can do anything to point to go to favor of the Numbers in the meantime. Block comes out from Sidon, and that is going to be another fight victory here for the side New Zealand Numbers. And now, looking desperation time mode for the Gangsta Turrets with the ultimate banks dwindling away.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing for them is they did get a lot of ults out for the Numbys. I believe they got 3 out that fight. They only used the beat and the overclock of their own, but with the Raspberry having this beat here, regardless of what they use, I mean, Raspberry's beat should be able to get quite a bit of value against whatever ult the turrets opt to use this fight, whether it be Terra Surge or the Blizz. Another good wall catches Fish out.
Another good wall on top of Slow Orb. Puts in a lot of work, a lot of damage. Elizabeth BF trying to build towards this Blizzard that could be the game changer. 10% away, forced to block though. A lot of damage taken away. Oh man, look at how low Fish is. Fish is actually 0 HP as we speak. The skill orb is going to take care of that one. The Coalescence from Jack. Jack with 3 this fight. Jack looking for a 4th here. Are they going to give Jack the 5k? It looks like they're trying to run away, but the Nails mode is activated by Jack. And he's going to get the advantage of 5k, as well as a bit of calisthenics on top of Rostigo's corpse. And now we're 1 point away for Numbers taking the game and taking the series and advancing to the semifinals.
Yeah, the Numbys are doing a really good job here of just isolating Fish really early. Pretty much every fight they've won, they've either gotten a wall onto Fish or they've just managed to run onto the back line and just kind of walk past Fish there. A lot of ults are getting built here for the turret, so it is turnable for them, but Blizzard and the beat being up for the Numbys, it's not going to be easy.
Especially to go into the small room, and Dire eats Elizabeth's BS. Blizzard, not the start they're looking for here. The Terror Surge comes on out from Fish, slams on in onto Dire, Dying finally a little bit exposed with his own Terror Surge. Gets them all very weak, and now the cleanup coming on in for the Numbys. It's just a support line here for the turrets on point for as long as they possibly can, but Kevin's finding the final blows with the charge. And a point again goes the way of the Numbys early, and they have the overclock working in their favor.
Yeah, I mean, they got a couple of ults out there for the Numbys, but it's just so favorable right now, not only with the point ticking up for them, but also it's just such a hard point to push into with these really tiny chokes while they're playing the Mei. It's not looking great here for the turrets. Flawless does have this overclock, and overclock is a very high value ability, especially if you're able to just get a couple of early headshots here.
See they go out with here. He's on the off angle, slides on in, but Kevin responds with his own, and Kevin's is better. Gets the better of the Sojourn battle, and now the beat from the Law is just dwindling away very quickly. The Blizzard comes out from Sidon as well, and now with 65% and counting, these staggers, a devastating roasting bow trying to get out with his life. Look, not going to happen. Potential over contest, but it might just go out with a whimper here. The turrets, they gossed him at 5, but that might have been all they had in them.
Yeah, swaps are coming out to try to get the touch a little bit faster, but pretty desperate here. Elizabeth BF does still have this Blizzard here, so if they do touch, maybe it could be a messy fight, could lead to a Blizzard.
Did they get one last second touch here? Those Floss turns the point, taken down though very quickly. The jump in forced the slide, but as well the Javelin over on the Fish. Jack trying to find out one. The Elizabeth BF does throw down the Blizzard. It frees up on the Raspberry on the side, but nobody's there to capitalize on that one. She gets it frozen immediately. And now Raspberry just jumping around. Looking pretty clean. They're looking pretty sweet. And the G's come out in the chat. And that is going to be it.
Numbys will
Map
face
5
off
victory
against the Gatos in the semifinals. And unfortunately, the Turrets, after such a interesting season, get eliminated from the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, we kind of expected a pretty quick series here. So the fact they're about to 5 should be pretty. They should feel pretty good about themselves. This is probably their best game they played all season. They brought it in for the final game, and now they go to the bowl game, and they could potentially win that with how good they played today. So we will have to wait and see what they go on. But now we have decided our player of the match for the New Zealand Numbys, and I got someone in my mind, but I'll just let you pick since you are the producer.
I'm that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, you're that guy, pal.
I have it between 2, right, or maybe between 3. I think part of it is Kevin won every map he played, so I think you got to give props to Kevin. Undefeated this entire match. I think Jack put quite a bit of value in, especially on the Moira there late, and then Dyer also is like just so consistent on the front line on the tank there. I would say it's between the 3 of them. You said you had a specific one in mind, so I am completely willing to let you say who you're thinking of, but
Mine was Kevin. He didn't lose a map he played.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you see that happen, you see like a player like a team that loses every map that he doesn't play, and they win every map he does play. It's kind of telling that he's like getting a lot of value there.
But then again, he didn't play Widowmaker only, so he'll go to someone else.
True. 2 maps on Sojourn, so he's getting banned, guys. They're banning him. So you're saying you don't want to give it to Kevin?
Nope, he cheated.
He cheated? Okay.
So we'll give it to the other guy.
Oof. Again, I think I'm between Jack and Dyer. I would say Jack.
I'd give it to Jack.
I think he got a lot of value on support there. You also have access to their channel, so I'm gonna make you bring him in. It's probably easier for you than. There he is.
Hello.
Hello.
What's
Congrats on the win, and congrats on getting named MVP. a map 5 banger against kind of an unseen adversary potentially. A 2-6 team coming up here, forcing their division. They gave you guys all they could and brought down to map 5. So just initial thoughts off the game here.
Yeah, I was very surprised we went to map 5. They were right when they said that they're the first team to take us to a map 5, and I was hoping we could go the whole season being the 3-1 team.
Well, I think last map you were 3-0. I don't remember who you played, but I remember that was
Yeah, we had a few 3-0s, but the majority were 3-1.
Yeah.
I was hoping we would never go to map 5 though.
Yeah, is that like your strat to lose on cost so you can take Kevin on Widowmaker to Circuit Royale?
That's like our running joke is we just go circuit if we do lose, but we're not gonna try to throw, especially not now. So
What was it? There was a team a couple years ago. I don't remember if it was the paper planes or what, but I think there was a team that was consistently losing on hybrid maps so that they could put Cold Beer in on Havana playing Widowmaker.
You'd be correct.
Do you guys remember that? What
Is
team
it
was
pair
that?
plays with Pet Rocks? Pair plays
one
with
of
Pet
them,
Rocks.
yeah.
it's definitely a strat because I know Kevin will rock their world on that on circuit, but if we can just keep going with a win on the previous map, I think we'll take it.
Speaking of strats and Kevin, what was your strat behind putting him on Sojourn instead of Widowmaker?
Well, after what happened on Busan, that was a rough showing for him. They literally chased him around the entire map. So we were hoping that maybe him being on a Soj would throw them off. We're not going Pocket Mercy this time. We went with the kind of a semi-brawl type thing back at him.
Yeah, Dry Surge.
So we wanted to see if that would throw him off.
So you guys are going to your next playoff is going to be against the Gatos. What's your opinion of the Gatos so far this season?
I don't I hope this doesn't come off as mean, but I didn't know that they were a 4-1 team. I thought we were kind of just a predominant 5-0, but knowing now that we were the only team to beat them, it's a little scary to go against them next, because we have heard that there's been some scheming on what they're going to do to us. So we're just going to have to do a little research back and figure out what we got to do. But I think that we still have a very solid chance.
No, what you meant to say is, since Paninii's in this chat,
Yeah.
they stink.
Yep.
It'll
Yeah.
be an easy 3-0. That's what you're supposed to say, Jack, in the situation.
Yeah, I mean,
That's the
Zane
alpha
is just
move.
better than me.
So with that question out of the way, we got your thoughts. So now, if you cannot win match MVP, who would it be and why? El Clasico.
I'm gonna give this one to Sidon because he was crazy with shot calling, especially on map 5. He really made the strats work well. Like you saw the 300, I think to 0. I'm not really sure, but his
Yeah, I think
strats
so.
were crazy, and his May was actually on another level there too. I was really surprised when he pulled out the May and just made it work so well. So yeah, I would say definitely Sidon.
Yeah, really interesting to see him. Like, May is not one we've seen him play a lot of, considering he's been playing so much, like, Sojourn and Ash and everything like that, so...
Yeah,
Fresh look for the Numbys.
I don't know if we've seen him on May before. Maybe once, but usually it's Sent, and Sent wasn't in this map, so he took that role.
Yeah, Set wasn't in that map because you actually wanted to win that one. Unfortunate for that, man.
Sent
We
was
kid.
saying- Sent was like, why do these guys play so bad when I'm not in? What the heck?
Sheesh.
So Sent was feeling it there.
Anyway, that's going to do it for the interview here. Congratulations again on the victory, and best of luck in semifinals. You got yourselves a hell of a matchup ahead of you. Number 2 senior division. Again, you're the only team to beat him, but should be a good one.
Yes, sir.
Next match is Monday at 9 p.m. I'm sure we'll get that broadcasted. It's going to be the Dongers versus the Brawlers, a really hype 2 versus 3 seed coming out. So be sure to watch that. I think that just about does it. Booney, you want to sign us off?
I sure can. Everybody, make sure to have a good Super Bowl Sunday tomorrow if you do celebrate. But if you do not, anyway, you can always stay safe, stay healthy, and have a great rest of your evening. Goodbye, guys.